This weekend on the original Rochester Press Box.
I'm Dave Yates. The NFL makes a change, and it's a good thing. I'll tell you about it.
And I'm John DiTullio, quoting Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. I'll explain.
And I'm Mike Catalana. Bills and Eagles, my two worlds are colliding.
And I'm Bill Pucko, the update on the war on football. Join us this weekend in the original Rochester Press Box, presented by the mighty Genesee Brew House. The Brew House was created to capture and share with you the long history of the Genesee Brewery. But the brewery itself isn't half as interesting as the beer and the people who make it. Visit GeneseeBrewHouse.com. Everyone, and welcome to the original Rochester Press Box presented by the mighty Genesee Brew House. I'm Bill Pucko, happy to be with you, along with John DiTullio from Fox 1280 Sports.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy to be with you.
I am happy.
Yes, I am.
Mike Catalana from 13 WHAM News co-hosting.
Good to be here.
And it's our pleasure to welcome back in Dave Yates from the
Nice.
Vision Automotive Group's high school sports beat, and also works for Eastridge High School.
Yes, great
which
to be.
fits right into, the big thing this week has been Dr. Bennett Amal sort of discovered the CTE, the movie's out at Christmas, and he's proposing that kids not play contact sports, and he's specific about football, hockey, and boxing being particularly dangerous, advocating that these sports not be played by kids.
I think that's a little extreme. I mean, you can go that with anything, really. I mean, I know the high schools are. It's really been a hot topic for high school trainers and athletic directors for a number of years now. Just staying on top of it. They do a baseline scan of the kids for the most part before every season, and if anything, I think they were ahead of it before the pro sports were. I think they were really a lot more cognizant of what was going on. If a kid didn't seem right, they were erring on the side of caution with them a lot more so. I think something like that, I mean, where are you going to draw the line on where we stop kids from doing what they want to be doing? And to me, when I watch the NFL, when I watch college, the way they hit is not right. And I don't care how long they can say that it's been a point of emphasis or whatever, but you see so many people, not just defensive players, but you see a running back going in a hole, he's looking at the ground. It's the same thing. They're not a good example of how things should be done right on the field.
Many other sports have concussion issues too, but it's you can see those hits in the NFL, right? And they show them over and over again. Now, there's a lot of the experts who will also talk about it's more the series of hits, not necessarily the big blasted hit, but we all look to that when we think about these concussions. It amazes me the amount of concussions in other sports, like lacrosse. Hey, Here's one I heard, and Dave probably know about this, field hockey. And I said, how do they get concussions in field hockey? Well, you know how they get concussions? The girls are going for the ball. They use shorter sticks, and the heads butt together and hit it. And I think to myself, and he said it's actually a problem in those sports. Now, nobody's talking about banning field hockey, right? Now, there are certain things that can be done to make it a little bit better. I think they should go for the safety part, but back to Dave's point about the way the NFL plays the game, I would like to see that adjusted more. I think the tackling would be better if they didn't stop trying to blow each other up. But nobody's banning football. It's not going to happen. And think about it here. It's not going to happen here, let alone in the South where it's a religion.
I think it's safer than it's ever been. And what I mean by that is that when we played high school, I mean, Pop Warner, to say an 8-year-old can't play football, what type of collisions are we talking about at 7 or 8 when I started playing at 9 or 10 years old? But all the safety precautions that are being made, they're now changing the helmet. They're revolutionizing the helmet. The biggest, I think, issue of concussions is I agree with the tackling, but when the player hits his head on the ground. And I think that's something that needs to be addressed. That's where a lot of players sustain. You're talking about constant blows every time your head bounces off the turf, whether it's field turf or regular grass. I think that's what is causing a lot of the concussions in the league. Because hitting is down. The concussions sustained from hitting is down over the last since 2009.
There's just so much I think that we don't know yet. So which way do you kind of fall? Danny Cannell, who's, like you, a talk show host, and I think a pretty respected guy, is calling this a war on football. And he's taken a lot of heat for that.
I don't know if it's a war on football. I mean, I don't have a son, but if I did and he wanted to play football, I would not have any problems.
None at all.
With all the safety precautions going on out there, the way they monitor, and Dave knows, even at the high school level, and I know high school coaches personally, the way they're monitored right now, I think I would feel much more safer today as opposed to when I played.
Is it because you played football? Did you guys all play football? Because
Yes.
I did not.
I played. I know at one point, I played in the 80s, and I know I had a concussion at one point. Looking back on it, I know I did. Explains a lot right now, I think. But I never.
Careful with that.
It wasn't really a word that, I mean, your bell got rung. Yeah. That's how it was described. You were a little dizzy. You were a little, okay, wow, that was a heck of a hit. You're seeing stars a little bit. And I go back in the huddle and just go for the next play. And I still remember I was the one that put the hit on the kid. He got up, said, great hit me on the helmet. And I'm like, man, I couldn't show anything because I'm the one that hit him. I didn't want to show that I was the one who was actually hurting from it. But it was, it's just one of those things that I think has become, you're more aware of it now than before.
So the doctor, at least, having made this point and getting this out in front, he's already made progress with it. Yeah, I don't know that you certainly don't have to ban football, but the progress is already there.
Well, we've seen it. Look at in the NFL. I mean, you have to go through the protocol. Mm-hmm. Now, you could make the arguments, everybody always jokes during a game, depending on who the player is, how quickly he gets through the protocol. But I do think they do that. And we know there have been times when if this was a few years ago, not only would the player play the next week, he'd probably be right back in the game that week. So that's changed.
We're going to remove the face mask? Maybe we're going that way. We're going to go back to leather helmets. I could see them removing the face mask at some point.
Yeah. I'm telling you, John's point about the field, I think that's going to be where the technology changes. They try and they try and they try with the helmets. There'll be something about that. The field itself, I think, in the NFL, because that really is a place where you see a lot of
Well, it's good to be talking about it because it's an important issue, and it's going to be around for a while. This is the original Rochester Press Box presented by the mighty Genesee Brew House. We're talking NFL when we come back. The Hillside family of agencies works with youth and families on their own terms, helping them pursue their own goals, whether at home, work, school, or one of the Hillside campuses, offering encouragement and commitment, standing with families, helping to create a healthy future. The Buffalo Bills Quote of the Week was brought to you by the Rochester Geico Office. Give the Rochester Geico team a chance to see how much you could save on all your insurance needs. Call or stop by the office on West Henrietta Road, open Monday through Saturday. Our Quote of the Week brought to you by Geico Rochester. It's LeSean McCoy trying to make his crusade against the Eagles everybody's, I guess.
Going around the locker room saying, I need you this week. I can't wait. I mean, I think Buffalo won that trade, but, maybe down the road, maybe a year from now, it may be a little bit different. Shady McCoy, we talk about Watkins. McCoy, to me, is the difference maker for the Bills. When he's going, that offense can be really dynamic. He's the whole key to this team.
This portion of the original Rochester Press Box is brought to you by the Hillside family of agencies. Your wheelhouse, Michael.
Yeah.
The Eagles and the Bills.
Yes.
This is interesting. I said, I'm like George Costanza saying my two worlds are colliding here. You guys know. I mean, my family's had season tickets to the Eagles since Franklin Field, so we're going back into the '60s.
Love Franklin Field.
Yeah. So obviously I know that team pretty well. And to see them. The big thing about both of these teams is they don't like any level of prosperity, right? As soon as they win, they lose. Both teams have had 2-game winning streaks. That's it. The Eagles had the big win last week against the Patriots. And yes, they did make some plays, obviously special teams and defense that helped them. But it was also at a time when people thought the team had quit on Chip Kelly. And here they are down 14-0 in New England. They win the game. So I'm not saying that question has been answered, but I do think the players are playing for him. And Kelly made some moves in that game. He cut Miles Austin before the game, who's a wide receiver who had not been performing, a guy he brought in, and he basically cut down on Murray's carries, and he went with the hot hand, and it changed the team. And the reason I'm saying that is I think it's changed a little of that dynamic in the locker room, because if you're playing guys because they're your guys, that doesn't go over well with the players. They want the productive guys playing. So they've changed a little bit. But that team can't handle anything. They beat the Cowboys a few weeks ago.
Bills are a 1-point favorite.
Wow.
Bills are a 1 point
Which is a
favorite.
shock to me.
Yeah, it's kind of that line
Yeah.
has kind of moved. Honestly, I like the Bills in this game. I like them to win it. I think it's going to be a close game. I think that's the way these games will play out. The Bills have not shown that either, right? I mean, winning a couple in a row hasn't been their way. They did it early in the year. It hasn't been Rex's way. Honestly, I think McCoy will play and he'll play well. I don't think he's going to be spectacular. I don't think he's going to be bad. I think he's going to have a good game. The crowd's going to be interesting in that. McCoy is extremely popular with fans. So don't forget about that. I mean, he will be popular. He will get cheered in that game. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some, whatever. But because on the other team,
really?
Yeah, I mean, please, Foxborough, they booed the Patriots going off the field last week. The Super Bowl champs got booed going off the field.
We set the bar high.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, but McCoy is very popular in Philly. He will be cheered during the game or before the game, especially. But I like the Bills to win.
What do you like, John?
I'm going to go with Mike. I'm going to go with Buffalo in this game. I think whoever runs the football wins this game better, and I'll take McCoy and the Bills, and I trust Taylor more than I trust Bradford. I can't believe I'm saying that. I will take the Bills. I'm with Mike. I think they muck it up. I think watch for a couple of turnovers could be the difference in this game. I like the Bills. I think they'll run the ball a little bit better than Philadelphia. I've got it close 17-13.
Dave?
I'm taking the Bills too. I know. I'm sorry. I like some of the things they've been doing lately. The way they've been at times been able to move the ball, and I think they're gonna find some groove and start doing it pretty more.
We try not to be homers here, but I like Buffalo too. Give me a second game.
Second game, I'm going to take Carolina over Atlanta. I think Carolina's favored by 7 in that one.
7, yep.
And I just think they're too much for pretty much anybody right now.
Yeah, I won picking against Carolina last week. I'll take them with the Bills this week. Those are my picks. What do you got second game?
I'm going to take the Titans and the points against the Jets. I think it's right around a touchdown, around 7 points. I think the Jets will probably still win the game. I love watching Mariota play.
Right?
And I think that kid has come around. And the Jets, to me, have played like a playoff team. Fitz has been great the last couple of weeks. They've found a way to win. I think they'll probably win the game, but I think Tennessee stays in the game with them. I don't like the Jets giving a touchdown to anybody, so I'll take the Titans.
Jets are in the 6th slot right now. John?
I'm going to go with Jameis Winston. I'm not a huge fan, but gosh, is he playing really well. There are 4-point favorites at home to New Orleans. I think Sean Payton already has his office cleared out. He's going to get traded. I'll take Tampa Bay minus the 4 at home.
Peyton to the Dolphins, I'm telling you.
Buddy,
that's the trade
that's a
gonna
lock.
happen.
Very good. Here's a look at our updated standings for our Hillside NFL Picks contest. We see that Mike Catalana had yet another 2-0 week to maintain his lead. The winner will have $1,000 donated to the Hillside Family of Agencies in his name. This week's Hillside Family of Agencies NFL pick being made by Ann Sicanolfi, the manager of home finding, and the kids from Monroe Region Foster Care. They choose Buffalo over Philadelphia, and in their second NFL game, like the Steelers, getting 3 to upset the Bengals. This portion of the original Rochester Press Box has been brought to you by the Hillside Family of Agencies. Like it or not, when we return. As we go to break, it is time for the Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning Trivia Question of the Week. When you're searching for a local heating and air conditioning contractor, look no further than one of the most reliable teams in the area at Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning. Is called Turnbull at 343-2005. As we come back from the break, time for the answer to the Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning Trivia Question of the Week. When you're searching for a local heating and air conditioning contractor, look no further than one of the most reliable teams in the area at Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning. Just call 343-2005. See New York in a whole new way. Amtrak is offering a 15% discount for all travel inside New York State and Montreal. Visit Amtrak.com for the See New York discount. Safe, comfortable, affordable, and easy. Amtrak. Enjoy the journey. Welcome back. This is the original Rochester Press Box, brought to you by the mighty Genesee Brew House. This portion of the Press Box is brought to you by Amtrak Trains. Enjoy the journey. Like it or not, Dino Babers.
Like it. You gotta like the name, anyways. I mean, come on. Yeah, I think it's good you get someone with that type of background coming to a program to like Syracuse to try and take it to that next level. I mean, I just hope they have some patience with him, because it's something like this is not something that's going to turn around quickly. It's going to take some time, and he's got to, he's really got to just be given a chance to fail before we can kind of start building something there.
Makes all the sense with the indoor, right? They talk about the carrier domes like the rebirth of the dome.
I agree.
Like it or not, Johnny, Starlin Castro.
Yeah, it's an upgrade from what they had at second base. 4 years, $37 million. He's 25 years old. He just started playing second base. They get a little bit more athletic at that position, and now it frees up Rob Refsnyder, their rookie, to kind of be that utility guy. So I kind of like the move. 4 years at $37 million.
It's a kind of move a small market team makes to try to move on against the evil empire.
You know what it's called, Mike? It's called Moneyball.
It is.
Moneyball 4 for the Yankees. That's right.
Sequels are never good.
Is this all they've got this offseason, you think?
I think they've got another move in them. I think they've got to get. I think they'll go out and try to get a pitcher. Even though I thought it would be Jeff Samardzija who signed with the Giants. I think they've got one more move in them. Okay, they got to get a pitcher, or try to trade Andrew Miller. One of the two.
All right. Are they giving up on Refsnyder? I thought Refsnyder was a good player.
I think they've given up on him and playing second. I think they kind of find a position for him. They like his bat. They got to find a position for him. I think he'll be a utility guy, and he'll kind of work him in.
All righty. The original Rochester Press Box, this portion of the Press Box brought to you by Amtrak Trains. Enjoy the journey. Unfinished Business is next. The Rochester Press Box Stat of the Week, brought to you by Cariglio's Pizza, with 5 locations serving the Rochester area. Visit carigliospizza.com today.
And you don't need to be Native American to realize it is offensive. And it's not politically correct. It's the right thing to do.
He was an idiot for throwing him that pitch. The guy's phenomenal. He had no reason to give him anything, especially a fastball to hit.
It's simply that these two guys, Ronaldo and Tom Brady, are too good looking.
I like it, just don't admit to it.
Everybody wants to hate on the best in the world. You know, he's here to stay, and he wants to build something big time.
The bottom line is, still nobody's going to like A-Rod.
Introducing Dunkin's new sweet black pepper bacon sandwich with double the slices of caramelized crispy pepper bacon. It is the bacon experience you've been waiting for. Bacon up! America runs on Dunkin'. Welcome back to the original Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. This portion of the Press Box is brought to you by our friends at Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin', as does Johnny.
I can go for a cup right now. I don't think I'm this guy 100% of the time who loves to compare and to complain. I hear it all the time. Heck, just look at our political climate right now. When I mean complain, the college football playoff is just in its second year. Can we allow it to breathe a little bit? Now there's folks, talking heads, can we get 6 teams? I want 8 teams. How's Michigan State number 3? They should be number 2. Listen, the committee got it right. The 4 teams they've got playing, I got no issues with it. It was better than the BCS, and it was better than what we had before the BCS, which was nothing. So let's relax, let's enjoy it. And comparing, what I mean by that is Golden State. At the time of this tape, they're 23-0. Oh, but they're not one of the best teams of all time, Tools, are they? They would never beat the 86 Celtics. They'd have no shot against Michael Jordan. Maybe they wouldn't, but I don't really care. They're the best team today in the NBA. And Steph Curry says he wants to be the best player of all time. Maybe he will be. Let's not sit here and say he'll never be better than Michael Jordan. Let's just enjoy Steph Curry now. I will say this, he has the best shot I've ever seen, and I've been watching the NBA for a long time.
We'll steal a line from Amtrak here. Enjoy the journey.
Yes.
Right?
Enjoy the journey.
Can we just relax a little bit? Come on, Billy, and you're guilty of this.
I am. I don't like the arguments framed by comparing everything to all
You
time.
compare everything.
Stop that. Dave?
He complains too much.
He does.
Speaking of changes and complaining and not, liking something, how about the NFL moving the extra point back? The extra point used to be something I'd sit there watching a game and I would be like, why is the director even on this thing? Show me a replay of the touchdown instead. Last week, what was it, 8 misses when there were 8 all of last year? All of a sudden the kick means something. That last second touchdown that puts them within 1, that kick isn't a gimme anymore. It's something that makes the game better, and the NFL, I find, rarely finds a way to do that because it's got such a good product anyways. To come up with a change like that can actually make something that was so mundane, so exciting, and forces coaches to go for 2 now and then, I love it. I think it was a great move.
The numbers were, there were 9 missed extra points this last week in the NFL season. There were 8 all of last year.
which
So that was pretty impressive.
It's good. It's a good change. I'm glad they did it.
We've been talking a little bit about my worlds colliding with the Eagles playing the Bills, and it made me think of something. This is, I think, the 9th time the teams have played each other since I've been covering the Bills. And every one of those games, either going down to Philly or being here, my dad's been here with me in those games. And the last time he was here 4 years ago when they played a game at the Ralph, and he passed away a couple of months later. And I was thinking of that as I was getting ready for this game. And I have a quick story to tell of an Eagles-Bills game. Back in the day, Donovan McNabb was playing for the Eagles. And I got my dad a press pass for the game. But I told him, I said, Dad, you can't talk to anybody. This is just for you to be hanging with me during the postgame. Just don't talk. So anybody who had ever known my dad knows that was tough for him to do. So we're in the room with Donovan McNabb. There was the big controversy with Rush Limbaugh. Huge room for the interview, and he's on the far side of the room. And as soon as the interview's done, I see my dad making a beeline to McNabb. And I'm like, oh, please, don't say anything, don't say anything. He goes up, he talks to McNabb. And I'm trying to stop him. McNabb was awesome.
That's great.
Said, nice to meet you, shook his hand. A little bit later, I go in the locker room. I say, stay in the hallway, Dad. I wait. I come back out in the hallway. He introduces me to Jeffrey Lurie, the Eagles owner. They were hanging in the hallway. Fast forward to the end of the game. I do my live shots. Everybody's out of the building. Here comes Ron Jaworski. I figure I know him a little bit from covering the games. Yeah. Eagles quarterback. I say to him, Ron, you got a second? My dad's here, season ticket holder. He'd love to meet you. He goes, oh, sure. Turns, he looks at my dad, and he goes, oh, we already met. We were just talking in the other room.
That's great.
I'll be covering the Bills and the Eagles game this week. But just needless to say, it won't be the same.
That's priceless, Mike.
That's
Thank
great
you very
story.
much. This portion of the original Rochester Press Box brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Guys, thank you very much. John?
Billy, epic show.
Tremendous, Mike.
Thanks.
Dave? Thanks for coming back. Yep. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week on the original Rochester Press Box presented by the mighty Genesee Brew House.